ముందుగా ప్రియమైన విద్యార్థులకు మరియు వారి తల్లిదండ్రులకు నమస్కారం. నా పేరు కె వెంకన్న జూనియర్ కాలేజ్ చైర్మన్. నేను ఈ రోజు 10th క్లాస్ విద్యార్థులను దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకొని మాట్లాడడం జరుగుతుంది. అది ఏమిటనగా మనందరికీ తెలుసు, గత 2 సంవత్సరాలుగా కరోనా కారణంగా విద్యార్థులు ఎటువంటి పరీక్షలు రాయకుండానే పై తరగతులు పంపడం జరుగుతుంది. ఫలితంగా IIT JEE మరియు నీట్ లాంటి జాతీయ స్థాయి పరీక్షలను సాధించడం కష్టతరం అవుతుంది. దీనిని అధిగమించడానికి మరియు 10వ తరగతి పరీక్షలో అత్యధిక మార్కులు సాధించడానికి నేను మీ ముందుకు కె వెంకన్న జూనియర్ కాలేజ్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్ ద్వారా అనుభవజ్ఞులైన అధ్యాపకులచే ఉచిత వీడియో క్లాసులు, హ్యాండ్ రిటన్ నోట్స్ మరియు గత ప్రశ్నపత్రాల సమాధానాల విశ్లేషణ ఇవ్వబడును. కాబట్టి నేను విద్యార్థులకు చెప్పదలుచుకున్నది ఏంటంటే, ఈ ఉచిత వీడియో క్లాసులను మరియు హ్యాండ్ రిటన్ నోట్స్లను క్లాస్ రూమ్లో కూర్చొని చదువుకున్నంత సీరియస్గా చదువుకోవాలను. ఇంకొకటి ఏమిటనగా, ఈ యొక్క క్లాసులు విన్న వెంటనే అర్థం చేసుకొని ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయవలను. ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయడం అంటే కేవలం చదవడం కాదు, పేపర్ మీద రాయవలను. అలాగైతే గుర్తుండిపోతుంది. దీంతో పాటు మీ యొక్క నాలెడ్జ్ని పరీక్షించుకునే కొరకు త్వరలో ప్రీ ఫైనల్ పరీక్షలు కూడా నిర్వహించబడు. ఈ యొక్క అవకాశాన్ని సద్వినియోగం చేసుకోవాలని 10th చదివే విద్యార్థులకు విజ్ఞప్తి చేస్తున్నాను.
So pH scale is 0 to 14. pH scale is 0 to 14, 0 to 3. pH is 0 to 3. That is called strong acids. Strong acids. pH value is 0 to 3. That is called strong acids. Strong acids. pH value 3 to 6, it is called weak acids. Weak acids. pH value is 0 to 3, that is called strong acids. pH value 3 to 6, that is called weak acids. pH value is exactly 7, that is called neutral compounds. Neutral compounds. So generally we are using drinking water, distilled water or drinking water, its pH value is exactly 7. pH value is exactly 7. Next, pH value 7 to 10, it is called weak bases. So weak bases having pH value range 7 to 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, that is called weak bases pH value. Next, pH value 11 to 14, pH value 11 to 14, it is called strong bases. So strong bases have pH value 11 to 14, between 11 to 14, 11 to 14. So pH value.
Hello students, myself Sunil Kumar Badal. I have done my BTech from IIT Kanpur. Here at K Venkanna classes, I teach chemistry. So right now I know you all are busy with your board exam preparation. But let me ask you a question. Suppose you want to be a cricketer. Who would you choose your coach? A cricketer or a wrestler? Answer is definitely cricketer. So in the same way here, we are the group of IITians, NITian and doctor. So if you really want to crack or get a seat into IIT, NIT or any top medical colleges, come here and join us. What are you waiting for? Thank you.
Into 14. pH value of the salts also calculated. Salt is formed by strong acid and strong base. Salts are formed by strong acids and strong base. Its pH value is exactly 7, that is neutral. The salt is neutral. Salt is formed by reaction between strong acid and strong base. That salt pH value is exactly 7, that is neutral compound. Neutral compound. So pH value of salts formed by strong acid and weak base. Strong acid and weak base, pH value is less than 7. That means salt is acidic nature. Salt is acidic nature. So, salt is formed by strong acid and strong base. pH value is exactly 7, that is called neutral compound. Salt is formed by reaction between strong acid and weak base. pH value is less than 7, it is acidic nature. Salt are formed by weak acid and strong base. Weak acid and strong base. Weak acid and strong base. pH value is greater than 7. It is basic nature. It is basic nature. So, salts also having different pH values. Salts also having different pH values. Salt is formed by reaction between strong acid and strong base. That salt pH value is 7, that is neutral compound. Salt is formed by reaction between strong acid and weak base. Its pH value is less than 7, it is acidic nature. Salt is formed by reaction between weak acid and strong base. pH value is greater than 7, that means that salt is basic nature. That salt is basic nature. So, this is acids, base and salts pH values, acids and bases. This is salt pH values. So, salt, for example, NaOH, it is strong base, HCl is strong acid. These two combine, NaOH is strong base, HCl is strong acid. These two combine to form salt, NaCl and H2O. So, this salt pH value is exactly 7. Why? Because it is formed by strong acid and strong base. That is why its pH value is exactly 7. Next, strong acid and weak base. HCl is the strong acid, weak base maybe NH4OH. So, HCl is strong acid, weak base is NH4OH. These two combine, it gives ammonium chloride salt, NH4Cl and H2O, ammonium chloride. So, this salt is formed by reaction between strong acid and weak base. So, pH value is less than 7. This salt pH value is less than 7. Next, salt is formed by weak acid and strong base. For example, acetic acid is a weak acid. Strong base, NaOH is a strong base. So, these two combine, it gives CH3COONa, sodium acetate. This compound name sodium acetate plus H2O. So, this salt, sodium acetate salt is formed by reaction between weak acid and strong base. So, its pH value is greater than 7. pH value is greater than 7. This pH value is 7 less than 7. This salt pH value is equal to 7. pH value is equal to 7. So, salt is formed by reaction between strong base and strong acid, that pH value is 7. Salt is formed by reaction between strong acid and weak base, pH value is less than 7. Salt is formed by weak acid and strong base, pH value is greater than 7. pH value is greater than 7. So, generally pH of any solution can be calculated by using this formula. pH of the any solution can be calculated by using this formula. pH is equal to minus log H plus. pH is equal to minus log H plus. The negative logarithm based into the hydrogen ion concentration is expressed by pH. The negative logarithm based in to the hydrogen ion concentration is expressed by pH. So, this is complete information of pH. So, pH of acids 0 to 6, pH of bases is exactly 7, pH is exactly 7, that is called neutral compounds, pH is 7 to 14, that is called bases. So, among this one, 0.3 pH, that is called strong acids. 3 to 6 weak acids, exactly 7 neutral compounds, 7 to 10 weak bases, 11 to 14 that is strong bases. So salts also formed by reaction between acid and base. So it's also having some pH value. So salt is formed by reaction between strong acid and strong base, pH value is 7. Salt is formed by strong acid and weak base, pH is less than 7. Salt is formed by weak acid and strong base, pH is greater than 7. pH is greater than 7 and some examples. So this salt, NaCl salt pH value is exactly 7. Ammonium chloride salt pH value is less than 7. Next, sodium acetate pH value is greater than 7. Why? Because it is formed by weak acid and strong base. Weak acid and strong base. That's why pH value is greater than 7. Greater than 7. So this is the information of pH. So next, coming to the pH in everyday life. pH in everyday life. pH in everyday life. pH in everyday life. Everyday life. pH in everyday life. So pH is useful to everyday life in plants and animals as well as human beings. So plants and animals. So first one, plants and animals. Animals and plants. Plants growth is mainly depends upon the pH of the soil. pH of the soil. Similarly, so the growth of plants and animals is depends upon its pH value. pH value. Rainwater pH is generally 5.5. Rainwater pH below 5.5, that is called acid rain. Rainwater pH, generally rainwater pH is 5.5. If rainwater pH is below 5.5, that is called acid rain. This acid rain causes some disturbances in animals living in rivers and oceans. Rivers and oceans. So animal and plants life is disturbed by these acid rains. Acid rains. So the growth of plants and animals is depends upon the pH value. A narrow change of pH value, that is no problem. But pH value change larger difference, they causes disturbances in living systems of plants and animals. Plants and animals. Plants and animals. For example, rainwater pH is 5.5. If rainwater pH is below 5.5, that is called acid rain. So acid rains once fall on the earth surface, they flows into rivers and oceans. They causes some difficulties living organisms in water like fishes, tortoise. So remaining all living animals having some disturbances by the changing of pH. By the changing of pH value. pH value. So this is first one. Growth of plants and animals is depends upon the pH value. pH value. Next, second one is pH change cause tooth decay. pH change cause tooth decay. సో మనకు సటన్ ఏజ్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత పళ్ళన్నీ పుచ్చిపోతూ ఉంటాయి. పుచ్చిపోయేది మొత్తం దాన్ని తీసేస్తూ ఉంటాం మన మౌత్లో నుంచి. సో టూత్ డికే అంటే ఆ పళ్ళు పాడవడానికి వన్ ఆఫ్ ద చేంజ్ ఈజ్ pH. వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫ్యాక్టర్ ఈజ్ pH. జనరలీ మౌత్ pH ఈజ్ 5.5. mouth pH is 5.5. mouth pH is 5.5. So we are eating food. సో మనం డైలీ బ్రేక్ఫాస్ట్, లంచ్, డిన్నర్ చేస్తూ ఉన్నాం. చేస్తున్నప్పుడు మన మౌత్లో ఎంతో కొంత ఫుడ్ అనేది స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. మన వైరస్, బ్యాక్టీరియా ఆ ఫుడ్ను డిస్ట్రాయ్ చేసి ద pH ఆఫ్ ద మౌత్ను డిక్రీజ్ చేస్తాయి. సో pH ఆఫ్ ద మౌత్ ఈజ్ బిలో 5.5. pH of the mouth below 5.5, it causes tooth decay. It causes tooth decay. Mouth pH is generally 5.5. If the mouth pH is below 5.5, it causes tooth decay. Tooth decay. So, pH value compulsory we maintain exactly mouth pH value is 5.5. That's why మనం మధ్యాహ్నం లంచ్ చేసిన తర్వాత కానీ నైట్ డిన్నర్ చేసిన తర్వాత కంపల్సరీ ఆఫ్టర్ బ్రష్ చేయాలి అంటాం. రీజన్ ఏంటంటే వాటిలో ఉన్న వైరస్ బ్యాక్టీరియా ఆ ఫుడ్ను డిస్ట్రాయ్ చేసి pH వాల్యూను డిక్రీజ్ చేస్తాయి. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ప్రివెంట్ ద బ్రష్ ఆఫ్టర్ ఈటింగ్ ఆఫ్ లంచ్ అండ్ డిన్నర్. సో teeth is made up of enamel substance. Tooth is made up of enamel layer. Tooth is made up of enamel layer. It consists of calcium phosphate. Calcium phosphate. So tooth is made up of enamel layer. It consists of calcium phosphate. It is the hardest substance in human body. Hardest substance. Enamel is the hardest substance in human body. In human body. Enamel is the hardest substance in human body. pH value is below 5.5. Generally it is hard substance. It is not dissolved in water. If the pH of the mouth is below 5.5, it is dissolved in water. Finally it causes tooth decay. Tooth decay. So enamel is the one of the substance. It is present on the surface of teeth. సో మన పళ్ళు మెరుస్తూ ఉన్నాయంటే రీజన్ ఏంటంటే ఎనామిల్ లేయర్ ఉండడం. ఈ ఎనామిల్ లేయర్ దేనితో మేడప్ ఆఫ్ అవుతుందంటే కాల్షియం ఫాస్ఫేట్. ఇట్ ఈస్ ద హార్డెస్ట్ సబ్స్టెన్స్ ఇన్ హ్యూమన్ బాడీ. మన బాడీలో హార్డెస్ట్ సబ్స్టెన్స్ ఏది అంటే ఎనామిల్. సో pH value is below 5.5. సో ఎనామిల్ లేయర్ ఈజ్ soluble in water. It causes tooth decay. pH value is 5.5 or above, no problem. But pH value is decreased below 5.5, it causes tooth decay. So this is second, pH change causes tooth decay. Next, third one is pH of the soil. pH of the soil. So plants growth is mainly depends upon the soil pH value. Soils having different pH values. Generally plants growth is higher. This pH range 5.5 to 6.5 pH. Plants are growth maximum. So soil pH value is 5.5 to 6.5. That is the important range to maximum growth of plants. pH value is 5.5 to 6.5. Next, fourth one is pH of digestion food. So digestion of food in human body also depends upon the pH of the food. So in stomach, so releases hydrochloric acid. So in stomach, some cells releases hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid formula HCl. This hydrochloric acid is useful to digestion of food in our stomach. But excess of acid is released in stomach. It causes some pain and irritation. That's why we are using some bases to neutralize this excess of acid in stomach. That substances we call antacids. So excess of acid releases in stomach. It causes acidity. This acidity can be removed by taking some bases like magnesium hydroxide, aluminum hydroxide, sodium bicarbonate. These substances are called antacids. Antacids. Antacids are the substances that remove the excess of acid present in a stomach. Excess of acid present in a stomach. Antacids. సో యాంటాసిడ్స్ అనేవి మన బాడీలో స్టమక్లో HCl ఎక్సెస్ ఆఫ్ అమౌంట్లో రిలీజ్ అయ్యింది, యాసిడిటీ ఫామ్ అవుతుంది బాడీకి. ఆ అసిడిటీని న్యూట్రలైజ్ చేయడానికి మనం బేసెస్ను పిల్స్ లాగా తీసుకుంటాం, ఆర్ టానిక్ లాగా బేసెస్ను తీసుకుంటాం. ఆ బేసెస్ ఏంటి అంటే మెగ్నీషియం హైడ్రాక్సైడ్, అల్యూమినియం హైడ్రాక్సైడ్, సోడియం బైకార్బోనేట్. దీస్ త్రీ ఆర్ ద బేసెస్. సో దీస్ బేసెస్ రియాక్ట్ విత్ దిస్ యాసిడ్స్ టు ఫార్మ్ సాల్ట్స్. సో ఇట్స్ మెయింటైన్ pH value. pH value. That's why it is called antacids. Antacids are the substance that neutralize the excess of acid present in a stomach. Excess of acid present in a stomach. So weak bases like magnesium hydroxide, aluminum hydroxide, sodium bicarbonate. So these three compounds generally we are used antacids like chewing gums as well as in a tonic. So these compounds generally we are taking chewing gums as well as in small pills or tonics or syrups. Tonics or syrups. So this is the pH in everyday life. So growth of plants and animals, pH change causes tooth decay. pH of the soil, pH of the soil 5.5 to 6.5, it is better than plant growth. It is more better plant growth. pH value 5.5 to 6.5. Next pH, it is useful to digestion of food. So in stomach some cells releases hydrochloric acid. So excess of hydrochloric acid released in our stomach causes acidity. This acidity can be neutralized by taking weak bases like magnesium hydroxide, aluminum hydroxide, sodium bicarbonate. These substances are called antacids. So antacids are the substance that neutralize the excess of acid present in a stomach. Excess of acid present in a stomach, that is called antacids. Antacids. Next, antacids. Next, pH of the warfare. pH of the warfare. Suppose honeybees. Honeybees are sticking in our body. It causes some pain and irritation. These pain and irritation can be removed by taking sodium bicarbonate. NaHCO3. Sodium bicarbonate. So honeybees are sticking on the surface of our body. It causes pain and irritation. These pain and irritation can be decreased by adding sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate. And also red ants having formic acid. Red ants having formic acid. It also sticking our body. It causes some pain and irritation. Pain and irritation. So formic acid formula HCOOH. HCOOH. This IUPAC name is methanoic acid. IUPAC name is methanoic acid. Only one carbon is there, so we call it meth. COOH. Oic acid. Methanoic acid. Methanoic acid. So sodium bicarbonate, formic acid. So these two compounds aided in warfares. Warfares. Warfares.